Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Lou Nanne, and Sid Hartman. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Josh Freeman. Would you sign him if he was available, or would that muck things up even more? The quarterback from Tampa Bay with the Vikings have a shot at.
Definitely sign him.
Why?
Because he's got...
But you like Ponder.
Well,
when you see him, you do.
Ponder, if this guy has proven he's not done a good job this year, but in previous years, he was one of the better quarterbacks.
Freeman, you mean now?
They might take a quarterback next year in the draft. Rather than do that, sign him.
If you're thinking that way, what would you do, Patrick?
Well, if you want to hand off to Peterson, and then be able to throw a 60-yard pass when everybody sucks up and tries to stop Peterson, well, he'd be the guy you want, because you don't want him throwing those 12-yarders, but you want him throwing those 60-yarders. He's got a big arm. I don't know, but if you bring him in, you got to cut the cord with Ponder. You can't have them both.
Well, maybe you can have Ponder for 12 yards and Peterson for 60.
Freeman for 60.
Freeman. I think...
What do you think about a deal like this, Lou? What do you consider? The locker room, only if this guy can make plays. If you're a GM, what are you thinking of?
You want to find somebody who can be your quarterback for a long time, and if they feel it's Freeman, then they'd sign Freeman, and then they would try and trade Ponder, because they got Castle where they want him, making the money they want as a backup, and their third guy's a young guy that they think is going to be pretty good. So if they sign Freeman, you could expect Ponder will be gone.
Do you worry a lot about the locker room, or have you already tested the waters and know where they stand on everything?
Well, the locker room is the same in every locker room. They want somebody who's going to make them win. So if they think Freeman's better than Ponder, the locker room's going to be happy.
They aren't going to get rid of Ponder, because Spielman has got he drafted him #1, and he's not going to look bad by getting rid of him.
To the Wilfs.
Without a doubt. And,
well, if they got Freeman...
If they sign Freeman, they'll keep Ponder.
Oh, yeah. Where are they going to have all these guys?
You have announced that Ponder isn't the answer if you bring in Josh Freeman. You have announced that to the world.
That's right.
Yeah.
So then you don't keep Ponder.
So then you don't keep Ponder. You say, okay, we might have made a mistake. And if Freeman comes in and you win a bunch of games, nobody cares that you drafted Ponder 12th overall.
Now, if you truly believe that Freeman's the answer.
If he's an improvement.
Who else is after Ponder? After Freeman?
Oakland
and Buffalo. And
only 2 clubs?
Supposedly his final 3 is the Vikings, Buffalo, and Oakland. And Oakland, I'm sure, would tell him to come on out and play, but do you want to go out there and play? I don't know. You don't have a chance to win.
If I was Freeman, I'd rather be playing with Peterson.
I would too.
Yeah.
Does he get big money?
No, Tampa released him. They paid him off. Now now whatever you give him is gravy for him. So you can probably get him for $1 million for this year.
Well, I'd be shocked the more I think about it if they sign him, because they got a big ego out there, and they aren't going to admit. As far as I go, Ponders has not flopped so far. He took them to the playoffs last year. They were 10-6, and I don't think they're going to give up on him yet.
Okay, I was talking to E.J. Henderson about this, Louis, and he was talking about how there are certain veterans that go to the office and their opinion matters. And he thought that during the bye week, the opinions of the veterans would matter, and they get to go in and give their opinions on the quarterback situation. Is that true in sport? Do you think, do the veterans really have a say?
Not my hockey team.
No?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Did they ever lobby you?
I don't know. No. I don't know why general manager or coach of an organization would allow that to happen. Then and general manager, in essence, then is not listening to his coach. And I think that'll just create problems.
Well, maybe they're just talking to the coach, not the general manager, is what I mean.
I don't know about quarterbacks, but there's a long history that will prove to you that letting your players choose a coach is the dumbest thing that
choose a coach,
whether it's college, whether it's pros.
But a quarterback,
they rally around Kansas. Yeah, I don't know about the quarterback situation, but Kansas City a couple of years ago, Romeo Crennel gets the job the last 6 weeks, and they win a few games, and they say, "Oh, give Romeo the job, give Romeo the job," and then they go 3-13. So
Harvey McKay has a great theory on that, and it's in his books. You never let a guy name his successor, because he's always going to choose someone that's not as good as him, human nature, and never let the employees choose a successor.
And
True?
never.
Well, that you better tell that to David Stern because he chose his successor, and he thinks his successor is going to be great.
No, he doesn't.
I don't agree.
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
he
does.
doesn't think Silvers is going to be as good as him.
I didn't say he was going to be as good as him.
And he knows
thinks he's
it.
going to be great.
But
He
not
thinks
as
he's
good
going
as
to be
David
great. Doesn't
Stern.
mean it's as good.
First of all,
I'd add one
if
thing.
Tampa let him go, there's got to be some.
Well,
good reason.
obviously, Sid, if you've been reading, there's all kinds of reasons.
Yeah,
he and the coach hate each other.
Mainly he and the
was late
coach
to
hate each
meetings.
other.
Well, why should they?
Well, maybe you can straighten him out. Everybody thinks they can straighten a
That's
guy
right.
out.
We've seen that happen.
Well,
Ask
here's
Sid,
the deal.
Yeah.
ask Louis about Todd Bergen. He thought he could
Yeah.
straighten him out. Then he
Yeah.
wanted to play golf. What the hell?
Yeah.
I can't see him signing him.
I would say another rule that you might want to have is never have the number 2 guy hire the number 3 guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he don't want to hire his replacement. That would be another thing.
Take a
I'd
break,
say.
come back, stay with us.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Call 1-866-CAMBRIA. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Bar Abilene at Lagoon and Fremont in uptown Minneapolis. And Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. And Taste of the NFL. Proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.
Good game today.
Okay.
Locally owned, nationally known, J.D. Hoyts on Washington. Stop on by when you're coming downtown for a game. Welcome back to the Sports Show.
51-48.
Did you see that
have
game?
the over? I saw a little.
Tony
over.
Romo throws an interception in the fourth quarter.
The over was 97.
What? Well, how many? Romo had over 500 yards. Right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they had the ball at tie game. He threw the interception.
Yeah.
Well, he's done that before, but I'd
Yeah.
take him.
But wasn't that amazing? It was his first interception in 177 passes since the first game of the year, and it was Manning's first interception this year.
Isn't that something?
Those were the 2 first interceptions they threw all year.
The quarterbacks are putting up numbers that are unbelievable.
Peyton Manning, though, he's at a different level that we've never seen.
He's unbelievable. He thought his career was over. He had a very
I don't think he ever thought it was
serious
over.
neck problem.
I don't think he,
He
ever
did
thought
have
it was
a
over.
serious
The
neck
people
problem.
at the Mayo didn't think they could help him. Decker's pretty good too. Talk about having good
All those
receivers.
receivers are.
You
Decker,
got 2
Thomas, and
touchdowns
Welker.
today.
Thomas
You
and
see
Welker
them?
were pretty good too.
You
Yeah.
have to go like this. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But they play for him, man.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys see the Manning, the book of Manning on ESPN? It's a
No, I knew
thing
it was
on
coming.
Archie. It's mostly about Archie, but it's great because they go back to home movies, and you see Peyton Manning, and it's just a whiny little 3-year-old brat, just like every other one you've ever seen.
You never thought he was like that.
Crying because of his brother and stuff like that.
Did they have any shots when he was playing catch with them on the
No,
sidelines
they
in Center Park?
They showed the old man playing catch with him,
But none
they
of Sid,
showed
huh?
him. They showed his older brother picking on him and him crying. It was
The
kind
old
of
man, I felt sorry for the old man. They had the worst offensive line in history. He got sacked about 10 times
For the
by the
Vikings, you mean?
Chicago Bears. On Wednesday of that week, or Thursday of that week, they changed the offensive line. Les Steckel changed the offensive line and got to Chicago, and the Bears just butchered them.
That was a lesson in National Football League, though. That '84 year, the last 5 games, those boys were bailing.
If they were hurt, they were hurt,
Everybody.
right?
They were taking guys off the street and putting them on the field because they knew this was going nowhere, and they were bailing.
You're pretty good at negotiating, but the Wills are even better. The deal that they got for the stadium.
There's no question they were going to get that from the start. Our newspaper, all they did is write stories about the Wolves. The Wolves are class people, and you watch and see. That thing in New York will be overruled.
How do you know that?
I talked to some lawyers I know in New York.
In New York, you
Nobody
talk to
ever
lawyers in
heard-
New York.
Nobody ever
You called
heard
lawyers in
of
New
a
York.
law. Here's the point. That had nothing to do with the Wolves as far as the stadium. Nothing to do with it.
But their case is different. You called lawyers in New York, and they said what?
I know some pretty good lawyers in New York
Are you guys laughing?
who are involved in
Well, the good
you
news.
think I know
Sid,
somebody with the
the good
Yankees?
news, Sid, is even if they have to pay the 85, it doesn't make any difference because he's going to have to come up with about 25 million cash for this for $1 billion stadium. So
Well, they made a good deal.
they made a terrific
real good
And
deal.
they're not the only one to make good deals.
By the way,
San
all those
Francisco
numbers
made a good deal.
Yeah, but no, San
Dallas made a
Francisco.
good deal.
But all those numbers that we're getting about how it's only these other franchises had all this much seat licenses. Well, we're not figuring in the suites in the numbers we're using right now.
Just seat
And
licensing.
for instance, Green Bay, they had a lot of seat licenses, but if you turn in your tickets, you get your money back with interest.
It's like a country club, huh? Like,
It's, you know,
where
like-
Louis plays. Those places.
Yeah, except the country clubs give you about 10%. They
Is that
give
what
you,
they do?
give you all your money
10%
back.
of your
plus
downstroke?
Goes
interest.
down to 0.
Yeah.
Who got Darks back when he, or does he,
Sid.
was he able to pass? No, Sid got that one.
It's a one-year deal. People, when they own a ticket, the license, they can sell the tickets. They can sell the seats. I mean, they got a deal that every National Football League club that built a new stadium has got.
But you should
that kind of
expand a
deal.
little bit on this because I think people have now painted them with the wrong image because of this one judge. What did the lawyers tell you from New York about?
They tell me this judge is retired.
Yeah.
That the next judge that comes in, they'll appeal the case, and they'll either wipe it out or about half the money that they.
That they say right now they owe.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Well,
You
it's
know,
nice
people
to
have
see
a-
those poor old brother and sister finally get their take after
Yeah.
I'll
all.
tell you what.
After 20 years,
I
of
gotta tell you something else.
getting shortchanged.
That money is peanuts. They are billionaires.
That's right. They
had
can
it-
afford it.
they had it budgeted at $100 million. I was told they thought that would be, they could have. That's about what they figured would be the most they'd have to pay. So, take a break. Come back to the
Just every
sports show
football employee.
plus some. Stay with.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Allery's, the original St. Paul sports bar, now with 65 beers on tap.
There it is, out in Minneapolis, right off of Wayzata Boulevard, General Mills Boulevard, actually in 394. What a great place to go and what a perfect time to buy. Yeah, winter's coming, getting one of those Q7s or Q5s with the all-wheel drive. It is fantastic. I was in
I saw some film of an Audi going right through that traffic in Rapid City when they had 4
See
feet
that?
of snow. 4 feet of snow.
I thought it was the 4th of July. The way that baby was
Unbelievable.
driving.
4 feet of
I was
snow.
in Michigan yesterday
Yes, sir.
for the Gopher game. And
Yeah.
they played a decent first half. Second half wasn't good at all. How do you see this thing? I think this week there's going to be a meeting between Jerry Kill and Norwood Teague and the president, and they'll make a decision as to how they're going to handle this.
Well, it's tough. I mean, if the guy keeps on having these seizures, it's tough. Nothing will happen this year. He'll be coaching this year.
I think they'll make a decision
I
as to whether or
think
not he'll be the
he'll
coach.
I think-
How he proceeds might be different.
I don't think they'll do anything. I think they'll leave him coach until if he keeps on getting a lot of them, then I think he'll, on his own, he'll decide.
What do you think,
I think
Louis?
they've
You
gotten
think
to the
they-
point where they think there's a lot of them.
You think they might let him take the rest of the year off and try to get it under control, or what?
No, I think Suhan wrote a good column today, Jim Suhan, and he said essentially it's going to be up to Jerry, and I think it is going to be up to Jerry.
To an extent.
Yeah, well, to a large extent, and I do think that he'll be back coaching this year. I don't know if it'll be next week or not. But
They got a bye week,
they
so
got
they
a
got some
bye,
time to
so,
play
yeah.
with.
But I think he'll be back. I really believe that now he's probably Jerry is probably getting really concerned because he missed a whole game, and
Yeah.
what happens if it happens again? He's the type of guy that probably would just say, "I'll do something else for the university."
Well,
I
he's
can't do
he's
this.
trying to tough it out. He's
Yeah, I know
trying to
he's-
prove
yeah.
that he can beat this thing, and it's a tough thing to beat. And it seems like, not that any of us are qualified, but it seems like the more you think about it, the more they're stressed and the more difficult.
Here's the thing. He got no seniors on this team of any importance. Hageman has turned out to be just another player. They will give him another year to see for sure.
There's no question they like him and they want him to succeed.
They
The
will
question
give him
is,
another
how
year,
comfortable
I'll
is he
guarantee
and
you
how
that.
comfortable are they?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
he might
Chad, this
suck
has
down.
got nothing to do with wins and losses.
nothing.
This is.
I think they're way behind him. Don't
This
you?
is, can you physically handle it?
I don't know if you guys keep saying stress. I don't know if it's stress related. It could be stress related, but it could not be
Yeah,
stress
might not
related.
be.
And if it isn't, then it's something that you also have to consider.
Yeah.
Are they going to be more frequent? And reading the article today that he's had a lot, are they becoming more frequent? If they are, then does he think that maybe I shouldn't be doing this
I
anymore?
read Clays today was saying that well, they're working on his medication again, and they're trying to get the work medication. I thought we had the right medication 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So does it keep changing? I don't know.
Here's the thing. He's his own worst enemy. He does so many things that he don't have to do.
Yeah, but that might not be it, Sid.
He
might
can't make all the appearances.
But you know
he
what?
No, but you can't. We don't know
A,
what
that
the
might
cause
not
is.
be
That's
it.
the
And B,
key.
if you're going to coach the Big Ten, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be out there all the time. It is what it is.
He says he's thinking about not doing that half-hour Sunday morning radio thing to kind of give him less
well,
stress.
that's the most stressful.
That's right.
What'd you think of the
Too
team?
much stress
I
there.
mean-
He can
What'd you think of
sleep in on Sunday mornings.
What'd you think of the team?
What did I think of what?
The team.
Well, I thought they played pretty well. I don't think Michigan's a great team. I think Michigan is one of the worst Michigan teams they've had. But when you got a good quarterback, you can do a lot of things. I think this kid is pretty good, the quarterback they got.
Gardner.
Leitner.
Huh? No.
The Gophers now, yeah.
Go for quarterback. I think he can get something done. They went in this game very crippled up. They had four of their top defensive backs
You know,
didn't play.
Getting back to the Vikings, though, and the Gophers to an extent on that, I was with Harvey yesterday, McKay, and he said it best. He just talked to Holtz. He said, if you got two quarterbacks, you're dividing the coaching staff, the players, and the fans.
Who said that?
Harvey.
Oh,
Holtz.
that's official.
Well, yeah, he got it, but
He got it from Holtz.
They agreed, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
That's official.
that's a good point.
Well, Northwestern's got two quarterbacks, and they played Ohio State right to the last minute yesterday.
Boy, are they good.
And every year they play two quarterbacks.
A little different, though.
Huh?
Everybody knows exactly when they're going to play.
But
You're
Carlos
saying
Hyde that the Buckeyes suspended looked pretty good last
Yeah,
year, didn't he?
yeah.
Early in the year, I think they suspended him for the who'd they play?
Yeah,
I
Western
right, they
Michigan.
suspended
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the fine that they give Kessel for slashing 3 exhibition games.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just
Yeah, I bet that broke his heart.
Yeah.
Boy, I wanted to be out there.
next year
by the
everybody's
way-
going to be slashing in preseason, so they don't have to
How
play any
come he's
games.
so good? Was he that good?
Well, now a scorer. He's not.
He's a scorer.
He's a scorer. He's not that well-rounded.
Not an
yet.
up and
No,
down
no,
guy, but he
can
can
score. He always can score. He's had a history of scoring. He can skate and he can shoot, but he also can get out of
Worst
exhibition
interview in
games.
the history of sports. He can't say hello.
Oh, he's a nice kid, though.
Yeah, he's nice, just quiet for that. But
Quiet.
Sid is very concerned about the 0-2 start. Should he be? The Wild.
Yeah, you're always concerned about a start when you lose to. The only problem is they also lost Coyle now. They lost him for a month for a sprained knee, and they're not deep enough to lose that kind of player. They played extremely well. The first game they were exceptional. They played the best goaltender in the world. He stole the game. Quick stole the game. The Wild should have won. They didn't start as good last night against Anaheim, and they still should have won the game. But their problem is scoring goals, and they haven't been able to get enough scoring.
Remember this, Maxie. There's a 57% chance of making the playoffs in the Western Conference, so it's harder to miss the playoffs than make the playoffs. Remember?
So relax a little bit, big fella. Relax. So you
guys are
into
something.
this. Back after this on the sports show. That's what. Corner Lagoon and Fremont Uptown Bar Abilene. For reservations, call 612-825-2525. Get in. Dip the chips, boys. Sid Hartman can attest that is an experience. You know, what we said probably would happen did happen. The Twins brought back Ron Gardenhire for a couple of years. Was there anything that surprised you about the Twins? And I got a follow-up question to that. I want you to take two at once. Ready, big guy? Here's the other part. Who on earth are they going to sign on the free agent market that's going to want to play for them?
I think the deal is they haven't announced it. He's got a 2-year deal, but the second year, if they have another year like this year, he's going to have a job in the organization.
Well, that's
he
not
will
even-
not.
but
He
that's
will
not a
not
big
manage
deal.
next year as another year.
Unless they
I
choose the salary
think-
for it.
Phil Miller does a pretty good job for us. He had a list of pitchers available in today's paper. I don't think any of those pitchers are going to turn the program around, are they?
Well, one pitcher's not going to.
No.
Yeah, if you want to pay $50 million posting fee for the Japanese guy and then give him $10 million a year, you can do that. He's supposed to be a phenom, but another Yu
Their
Darvish.
success with Japanese hasn't been good.
Well, the first one was kind of a cheap one, and
But somebody else is going to get more money than them.
well, then
they
it
won't
doesn't
get it.
have to. They don't have to. They can give him as much as anybody.
Okay, Lou, you're the general manager, right? You've done this before. How would you sell somebody, a free agent, here, you should come and play at Target Field for the Minnesota Twins if they're good at all?
Well, first of all,
how would you
first of all,
begin to
you're
go
going to have to
about
pay as much as everybody else because they're not going to take a cut to come if you're not winning.
You got to
So,
pay more than everybody else.
That's right, but at least as much.
Oh, yeah.
And then try and sell them on the opportunity here. It's,
These guys don't need opportunities that they want. They're going to get them wherever they go.
You look
If you
at
had
that
a
list.
losing hockey team, would you have trouble getting a real good hockey player to join your team?
Yeah, that's what I just finished saying.
Huh?
That's what I just finished saying. You got to pay him at least as much, probably more, and then try and sell him on it. We all know that there's going to be opportunities for these players. And in baseball, one thing you have is you got more than one team usually going after a free agent. So you got to be willing to pay up, and then you got to sell them on the reasons why they should come here. The fact is, they do have some good prospects in the minors. They still got a couple of ball players. It's a great place to play, good market. And the people who've played here and gone away, they all still rave about playing here. Guys like Nathan and that, they said they loved
It's a
being
great
here.
place to jumpstart your career and take you to a new level.
Did you have some minor league hockey players that were sensational in the minor leagues, and then they come up here and couldn't do nothing?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no cinch
I know.
any of those guys are going to be big
Yeah,
stars.
there's no cinch if you draft a quarterback number 12 overall that he's going to be a player, too.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I know that.
There's never a cinch. There's no cinch in any sport, Sid. That's why we like them. That's
Yeah.
why we like them. We
why
don't
we
know
love
what's
sports.
going to happen.
Yeah.
The mystery.
That's why you buy tickets.
I will say that Terry Ryan was quoted at the winter meetings as saying he was looking for improvement, hope, direction, and leadership if he was going to bring Gardy back. Now, leadership is vague, but improvement, same record. Hope, not much. Direction, yeah, down.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Why'd we give him a 2-year contract? I like the guy as well as the next guy, but why'd we give him a 2-year contract?
Tell us next week, Sid. See you back here next week.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Call 1-866-CAMBRIA. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Bar Abilene at Lagoon and Fremont in uptown Minneapolis. And Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. And Taste of the NFL, proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.